name is Galen Hoffman, and I am an SVSU Cardinal. In high school, I donated a gallon of blood. Also, I was the donation chair for my school. Blood donation affects more lives than you could possibly imagine. Get this, 1 in every 7 people entering the hospital will need a blood transfusion. Let me say that again, 1 in every 7 people. That's basically every 2 seconds someone needing blood. You can't just substitute human blood either. It has to come from people like me, people like you. Michigan Blood is wonderful to work with. They are a nonprofit blood center that has been in Michigan since 1955.
Marin is such a character. Before she was diagnosed, she was just a silly little 4-year-old running around, happy, and then she went to a well child visit and they asked us to get an ultrasound. They felt a mass in her stomach. They diagnosed her within 2 days having neuroblastoma, and she got really quiet after that. Just this last December, she was finally off the last chemo drug. Now she's coming out of her shell a little bit and she's trying some new activities. It's really exciting. My daughter never would have recovered without blood donations from Michigan Blood. To the people that have already donated, thank you. I can't say that enough, thank you. You saved her life. We would not be where we are today, experiencing all these incredible moments without you.
My name is Tanjanika Taylor, and I have sickle cell anemia. I have had many complications, and due to these issues, I have to receive blood transfusions. To put a number on it, I would say that I have had well over 50 transfusions. I think that it is so important that we become aware of what is going on in our community, and that we do need to give more regularly to the blood bank, that we have different antigens and there are different antibodies that are in blood, and when you have and share the same heritage as someone, you can get a better match. And getting a close match when it comes to a blood transfusion is oh so important. And with me having sickle cell anemia, I need these blood transfusions. I need these transfusions to survive, to live my life the way that any other American, any other person wants to live their life, happy and whole. And thankfully, due to the work of Michigan Blood, due to the work that they do with the hospitals and with the community, I am able to say that I do get to live my life the way that I always envisioned it. And it's not too often that you hear people who are sick or have chronic disabilities who say that their life is, the majority of the time, happy. And I'm thankful to Michigan Blood, to the hospitals, to all of the individuals who donate for that chance to live my life the way that I do.
I basically have a condition that is causing severe anemia, and these blood transfusions are required every 2 to 4 weeks depending on where I am, and it's been helping me through this. It's been saving my life over and over again. Blood donors mean my life right now. They're saving me over and over again. Now that I truly know how it feels to get blood, to receive blood, how it feels to need it so bad. I'm so thankful to the people that donate. They have no idea, if they've never had to receive it, how significant it is that they're doing this. To me, it means that I'm going to live to see my kid graduate from high school. Here we go. I'm going to live to have grandchildren. I'm going to live to experience more life.
About 4 weeks after surgery, I was at home recovering and I began hemorrhaging. An artery had come loose and I was bleeding intensively. I knew that I was losing a lot of blood and I could see the concern on my husband's face. So I was rushed to the hospital and had to undergo 2 hours of surgery to try to stop the bleeding. After I was recovered from this surgery and received my blood, I was home recovering for another month, and I remember feeling helpless. Everybody was helping me with meals and my family, and someone had suggested to me, the best thing you can do is to pray for those 7 people who gave that blood at that time that you received. And so I really think of them as my 7 angels that I remember every day in prayer.
These givers saved my wife's life, and without that, we would have lost her.
It didn't just save my life, it saved my children's too. You know, I can enjoy life with my children today and with my husband and my family because these people took an hour out of their day. An hour can be wasted so quickly. We can spend an hour going to lunch with our friends. We can spend an hour just watching a TV show. But for people that take that hour to give blood, it really is priceless.
Well, because of this experience, it certainly contributed to me starting to be a donor. Realizing what we had gone through and the need for blood obviously hits home.
What I found out after I received this blood was that how really much of a shortage we do have in this country, and that if just 1% of our population gave, there would no longer be a shortage.
Just knowing that it stays local and that you may have had an impact on somebody's life, you really get a good feeling about that.
For those that have never given, I would encourage them to just try it and take that step.
I don't think there's a word or words that can express the gratitude. That really hits home, and the realization, I mean, thank you is really not enough.
25 years ago, the community gave me what I thought was my greatest gift, my National Cherry Queen crown. But I was wrong. In 2010, through Michigan Blood, my community gave me life, and that was the greatest gift.
My son was diagnosed in utero with a heart defect, and he had surgery at less than 48 hours old, and he required a lot of blood products. And my family has always donated blood. I was always the one who didn't because I was chicken. And I realized that there was no reason not to, and I needed to pay back for what we had for Caleb. He wouldn't have made it without blood donors. I'm surprised how simple it is to do something so profound. You know, I spend an hour to go and donate blood, but I know that I can do a part to help another child or another family that's facing that same terror. You know, what's going to happen with the surgery? Well, hopefully all the blood products we need are there. Hopefully everything we need to give our child the best chances are there. And all it takes is me to give an hour of my time. Thank you for giving me my youngest son. I have a 3.5-year-old toddler running around my house because you took the time to donate blood. Just about every morning when he wakes up, I think what a miracle he is. He's active and running and playing and a happy guy, wonderful disposition. And it's all a miracle that he's even alive and here. It's amazing. I can't imagine our life without him. I can't imagine. For a while, we were worried about planning his funeral, and now I got to sign him up for preschool.
When I was in high school, I was always part of student council, and we'd always do blood drives. So once I became old enough, I started giving because we were putting them on. Probably gave every chance I had in high school. I am 26 years old and I'm currently a student at Saginaw Valley State. One night I had a wrist injury and I hit a major artery. Really didn't think it was too serious until you get to the emergency room. Really, the last thing you're thinking is that you're gonna need blood. And before you can get into surgery, they're telling you that you need someone else's blood, which never thought about before in my life, about the people that actually received what I've donated. It's kind of a humbling experience that somebody else is helping save your life. Maybe because living the college life, you really don't see it as much that you need to give blood. So now I just realize if maybe one day there is that shortage when somebody needed 1 pint, well, that could have been my pint that I gave because somebody gave that for me.
Hi, my name is Mandy. I am a new mom and a wife, and I live in Frankenmuth. I had a great pregnancy. Very little complications, just was growing and no real trouble. Didn't find out what we were having, we just sailed right through it and were anxiously awaiting whether we were going to have a boy or a girl, and we really had no complications or cause for any concern. I was probably only in labor for 3 hours. It was great. And I delivered a very happy, healthy, 7-pound, 10-ounce little boy that we named Ivan Stewart Lubashevsky. So Ivan was born on a Friday, and we had a week where he was home with us and everything was great. And that Monday morning I woke up to feed Ivan, and when I got out of bed I had just started bleeding. So I really didn't have time to think about it. Just kind of thought it was a weird freak thing with what happens after you have a baby. And after I nursed him, I got up again and it happened a second time. And so that's when we really kind of were, this didn't really seem normal. So we went to the ER at Covenant, and they ran a battery of tests and kind of discovered my body was actually shutting down. I had lost so much blood. My kidneys were shutting down, and they really didn't know what was causing it, but that I needed immediate surgery. I was a fairly regular donor. I mean, I wasn't diligent by any means, but I would donate a couple of times a year maybe, and I always wondered if somebody was going to use it. And then when I was in this situation, I just never really thought when I was in that chair donating that I would ever be on the receiving end. It never occurred to me that somebody in one of those beds next to me could actually be saving my life. We have 2 dogs that were our whole world until Ivan came and took a big chunk of their world. We usually strap them into the little Snuggie and bundle them up, and
it goes along. Yeah.
He usually falls asleep halfway through the walk.
He doesn't last very long.
So, it's really fun. It's nice when we can all go and the weather permits and we can take Ivan and do like a big group walk. We walking the dogs. He
loves the dogs too. He don't mind at all. He sleeps through the barking and everything else, and he's all good with that, right, Ivan? Right? Yeah.
You like your puppies, huh? The realization when I was in that room and that somebody else, their donation was giving my son his mother and my husband his wife, and like I was reliant on somebody else's donation, it was just amazing to be on that other end. It was something I never anticipated needing, and was so grateful that somebody had donated.